Have you ever had cuttings rot at the base? Or bought a plant that just wouldn't grow new roots? Don't rush to spend money on chemical rooting products. You may be spending a lot of money on something in your plants don't actually need. Today, I'll show you how to make a 100% organic rooting booster from ingredients you already have in your kitchen. It helps plants grow strong new roots, saves you money, and there's no need for chemical products. Most importantly, it's safe for your health and the environment. If you had known this sooner, you probably could have saved quite a bit of money every year. Hello, I'm Max. If you enjoy gardening tips that save you money, time, and effort while increasing productivity and helping you harvest sooner, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any videos from this channel. Today, I'll show you how to use shallots to make a natural rooting booster. Many people think shallots are just a cooking ingredient, but for gardeners, they're an excellent rooting booster. Shallots contain high levels of potassium and sulfur, helping disinfect, fight fungi, and protect cut surfaces from rotting. In particular, shallots contain phytohormones that stimulate root cells to develop very quickly. Your cuttings can grow lots of roots in just 7 days. You won't believe how effective it is. It's really amazing. Now, let's get started. First, prepare the ingredients. You only need 5 to 6 fresh shallots and about 17 fluid ounces Oz, 500 milliliters of cooled boiled water. From my experience, you should choose shallots that are firm and fresh with no bruises, sprouts, or mold. The fresher the shallots, the more beneficial compounds they'll release when blended. As for the water, I always use water that has been boiled and allow it to cool completely. This helps reduce bacteria and impurities and makes the solution cleaner when soaking cuttings or watering around the root zone. The ingredients are very simple, but I've found that preparing everything carefully from the beginning helps make the solution more stable and gives you more confidence when using it on your plants. Once you've prepared all the necessary ingredients, now it's time to get started. To do it correctly, just follow these 4 steps. Step 1, prepare the shallots. The first thing I do is peel 5 to 6 shallots, then wash them thoroughly under clean running water. Even though they may look clean on the outside, I never skip this step because between the layers, there may still be dirt, dry skin, or small impurities that are difficult to see with the naked eye. After washing, I cut the shallots into small pieces. They don't have to be perfectly even or perfectly shaped, just small enough for the blender to work easily. From my experience, the smaller the shallots are cut, the smoother they'll blend, and the natural compounds in the shallots will be released more effectively. In the past, I tried putting whole shallots into the blender just to save a few minutes. The blender still worked, but the mixture was quite chunky and clearly not as smooth as when I cut them first. Since then, I've always spent an extra minute cutting the shallots. It sounds very simple, but this small step helps make the solution better right from the beginning. Step 2, blend the shallots. After cutting them into small pieces, put all the shallots into the blender. Then add about 1 cup of cooled boiled water. It is equal to about 8 fluid ounces, Oz 240 milliliters. Now, just blend for about 1 to 2 minutes. I usually let the blender run until the mixture is very smooth and I can hardly see any large pieces of shallot. The finer the shallots are blended, the more easily their natural compounds mix into the water, helping make the solution more even. From my experience, don't stop the blender too early. In the past, I only blended for about 20 to 30 seconds to save time. As a result, there were still quite a few large pieces of shallots. And when I strained the mixture, the pulp still held a lot of the juice, which was quite wasteful. Just be patient for about 1 more minute, and you'll notice the mixture is much smoother and much easier to strain in the next step. If you're still watching this video and you're enjoying it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to support me. Every subscription from you is a huge motivation for me to make even better videos every day. Thank you very much. Step 3, strain the juice. After blending, don't use it right away. The next step is to strain the mixture through a fine mesh strainer or a clean, thin cloth to completely separate the pulp from the juice. I usually strain it slowly and gently press the pulp with a spoon to get as much juice as possible. There's no need to press too hard because if too much shallot pulp gets through, the solution will settle more quickly and won't be as clean. From my experience, this step is well worth spending a few extra minutes on. In the past, there was a time when I wasn't careful and didn't strain it thoroughly. When I soaked my cuttings, small pieces of shallot stuck to the cut surfaces, making them harder to clean and causing the solution to develop an odor more quickly after a few hours. A clear and clean solution is much easier to use, especially if you're soaking cuttings. The cut end of the cutting will come into direct contact with the juice instead of being covered with pieces of shallot pulp. So don't skip this small step. It only takes a few extra minutes, but it helps make the solution much better before moving on to the final step. Step 4, dilute and use immediately. After straining the juice, I add the remaining 1 cup of cooled boiled water, equal to about 8 fluid ounces, Oz 240 milliliters. Then stir gently until the solution is well mixed. Don't skip this dilution step. From my experience, a stronger solution isn't necessarily better. Diluting it properly helps the solution soak into the surface of the cuttings more easily, while reducing the chance of leaving too much organic residue after use. If possible, I recommend using the solution immediately after mixing it. At this point, the solution is still fresh. The smell is more pleasant, and it hasn't changed much. In the past, I made a large batch to use over several days. By the next day, the solution had already started to smell fermented. So, I decided to throw it away and make a fresh batch. If you don't use it all, you can seal it tightly, store it in the refrigerator, and use it within 24 hours. After that, I usually don't continue using it because the quality of the solution is no longer as stable as when it was freshly made. It only takes a few extra minutes to make a fresh batch, but in return, you'll have greater peace of mind when using it on cuttings or young plants that need careful care. All right, now I'll show you how to use it to get the best results. After mixing the solution, I usually use it right away because it's still fresh and the quality is at its best. If you're propagating cuttings, soak the cut end of the cutting in the solution for about 15 to 20 minutes. While waiting, I usually take the opportunity to prepare the pot and the growing medium once the time is up. Simply take the cutting out, let it drain for a few seconds, then insert it directly into the growing medium. Personally, I don't soak the cuttings for too long. Many people think the longer you soak them, the faster they'll grow roots. But in reality, I haven't seen that make any noticeable difference. About 15 to 20 minutes is enough. After that, focus on keeping the growing medium consistently moist, because that's what really matters during the first few days. If you're using it for a newly planted tree or a plant that has just been repotted, dilute the solution further with clean water. Then, water gently around the root zone. Just moisten the soil. That's enough. Don't overwater. I usually apply it only once, right after planting. Then, continue normal care and water as usual. However, there is one very important thing I want to make absolutely clear. So you don't expect too much. A shallot solution is not a rooting hormone, and it cannot turn a weak cutting into a healthy one. It is simply a natural aid that helps create more favorable conditions during the early stage of root development. From my experience, what determines success is not this solution, but how you prepare the cutting from the very beginning. Choose healthy cuttings, free of pests and diseases. And use a very sharp, clean knife or pair of pruning shears to make a clean cut. After planting the cutting, keep the growing medium evenly moist, but never waterlogged. And place the plant in a well-ventilated location with the right amount of light for that particular plant. I've tried many different methods and realized that when the cutting is healthy, the growing medium is clean and the moisture is consistent. The chances of successful rooting are always much higher. The shallot solution is only one part of the entire care process.
Yes.
When combined with the right technique, you'll have a better chance of getting good results. Naturally,
with the fresh shallot solution,
without relying on chemical rooting hormones. I hope this simple method gives you another natural option to help your plants develop roots without relying on chemical rooting hormones. However, remember that a shallot solution is only a supporting method. If you want your plants to grow well, the most important things are still choosing healthy cuttings, using a clean growing medium, and providing proper care. While using this method, always use clean ingredients. Make only enough solution for immediate use, and keep it out of the reach of children and pets. If the solution develops an unusual smell or has been stored for too long, throw it away and make a fresh batch at the same time. Use and dispose of the solution properly to help protect your health and the environment. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and share this video to support me. And if you know another effective natural rooting method, leave a comment below so everyone can learn and share their experience. Thank you for watching. I wish you success, and I'll see you in the next video.